We're live. Okay, there's like a sign on the screen. I hope it disappears. Okay, it's disappearing. There we go.
We're never quite sure
All right.
if it's gonna work.
Hi everyone, we're live from Paris. This is Amy's Knit Lab and with special guest Julia Taylor from the Knitting Twinnings. And she is my friend and colleague here at Labienaimee. I just got back from Madrid. I'm still kind of getting acclimated to coming back to work. It's nice to be back. We're going to talk about FOs because that's the most exciting thing. Julia's got an FO to talk about. We're going to talk about some whips, and I'm going to talk about being in Madrid last weekend. Hi! And I'm going to show you some of the beautiful things that I bought when I was in Madrid and talk about teaching at Love Yarn Madrid Festival. So, Julia, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit too, if people are just tuning in for the first time.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia. I work at Bien Aimée with Amy. I've been working with you for the past 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
Before that, I was your very good client who already knew all of your colors.
Absolutely. And you were a client before Labienaimee.
Definitely. I used to
existed.
come to Loisifte and buy Madeleine Tosh from you.
Yes. She came to my tea house where I sold yarn brands like Madeleine Tosh and other mainstream brands.
Yeah.
And it was a knit cafe, and she'd come and brunch and knit.
Yeah,
With her
definitely.
twin sister. I always remember
Yeah.
when I get so excited. I was like, the twins came today.
So that's it. And now I work with you, and I get to petal the beautiful yarn every single day, day in, day out.
I remember the day you came to talk to me at the Labienaimee boutique. I had put a sign on the window. Do you remember? I
Yeah.
was looking for help. And at that time I was looking for full-time help because I needed a full-time salesperson. And you asked about working part-time.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, like, for you, yes, you can.
I remember exactly. You said, I'm looking for someone full-time, but if it's you, we'll do part-time.
Yeah, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. That's how much I wanted to work with Julia.
And guess what? We're still here.
Yeah, it's still
Still
here.
working together.
Still here.
Yay!
Yay.
So it's our third week in a row going
believe
live
it.
on Wednesday morning.
You know, you said something really funny. I think it was 2 episodes ago. It becomes a habit.
Exactly.
And it's a habit now. Now I have it in my mind like, oh, I'm going to go to work Wednesday morning and we're going to go live. And that's exactly what's happening now.
And then, you know, you bring your whips that you're working on.
Yes.
This week we decided to bring our knitting notebooks as well to share those with you. Yeah, it really becomes a habit. It's like I look forward to it.
Me too.
On Tuesday night, I'm like, what am I bringing for tomorrow? I need to pack my bag.
I was literally like that last night too. I was like, what are we going to talk about tomorrow? So I had a little list in my mind. Obviously, we keep this very organic and we don't plan in advance. Literally before we hit live right now, I was like, oh, we need to grab this sample so I can talk about it. So it's just something, this live is just to talk about literally what has happened in the last week since the last time we went live. And sometimes we'll check in about things that we mentioned in previous lives, and maybe we won't. If there's something that you guys are curious about, please leave us a comment. We read all the comments. Julia and I love reading the comments and responding.
Thank you so much for all your super positive comments.
Yeah.
It is so encouraging.
Yes, it's absolutely nice. But we're going to talk about one of the most important things today, this.
I have a finished object. I feel like, you know, I need to do a little finished object dance.
We might have to do a reel.
Ooh, exactly.
Okay, we'll work on that.
We'll do the finished object dance later. So I'm just gonna stand up because voila, I finished my Boxy Raglan Cardi
I love it.
by Locatelli. And I knit it in big Kumo in the color Sari. And I only used 4 skeins.
Really?
I can't believe it. Because Big Kumo, it's a chunky yarn, but we have it milled as like an aran. So it's 160 meters. But still, I was like, 4 skeins, that's never gonna be enough.
And it was.
Absolutely, it worked out great.
What size needles did you use?
I used a 6mm needle.
Nice.
And I think the pattern calls for a 5 or a 5.5. But I know I knit a bit tight. And I wanted to make like the yarn like
A little airier.
yeah, and last
Yeah.
longer.
It's nice.
So I knew I wanted it to be like a little bit loose, open, and just something I would throw on. And it turned out perfect. Just could not, I didn't do any decreases on the sleeves.
Okay.
I just kept them straight.
Do you take all your notes and put them on Ravelry?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. I do too. So if you guys ever see any of our knitwear out in the wild and you want to know what we did to modify it, just follow us on Ravelry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we put our Ravelry handles and stuff in the
comments
notes.
below.
Yeah.
But if you're tuned in now and you want to know, I'm called Put Your Flair On. This is my OG online handle that I've had since the beginning of internet times. Put Your Flair On, all attached as one word. And then Julia, what's your Ravelry
It's
handle?
Julia 50.
Julia 50. What does the 50 stand for?
I think my email address was julia blah blah 50 at blah blah something.
Okay.
So it was just, I had no idea. I logged into Ravelry, and when I created my account, I was just like, does Julia 50 work? And I think maybe it's the first one it offered. There were already 49 other Julias or something.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
right.
so yeah, I'm Julia 50.
So that's how you can find us on Ravelry. We really use Ravelry a lot to list all of the projects that we show in Labienaimee. Everything that's back here behind us in my closet is on Ravelry page.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. And I love updating my Ravelry. So all my projects are pretty much up to date with photos and stuff. And yeah, I love keeping my Ravelry projects organized.
So another FO. So how many FOs is that this year now?
Oh my gosh, already in January, I finished my Oslo hat. I finished the plum top cowl that we showed last week. And I finished this. So that's my third FO in 6 weeks. That's so good.
Amazing. That's really, really inspiring. I do not have any FOs, but I'm okay with that because I'm working on a lot of different designs right now. And that brings me to what I'm knitting on right now. This is a second version of my patchwork bandana. So this is a big size. Yeah, so Julia's holding up the original that I did in Corrie, French Gray, and Wensley. And I wanted to knit it again and I'm calling this the patchwork. So I really felt like the confetti looks like patchwork. I mean, it just really looks like quilt or something. I don't know. For me, it just speaks to me as a patchwork blanket. And so I'm going to make a big shawl using one skein of each of the confetti colors. I have them organized in my handy little packing cube from Baggu, which is super great because I can just throw this into any bag whenever I'm traveling and take it with me. And it helps keep my yarn organized as I'm knitting in Tarja. As you can see, I've got all my yarn here attached to the balls. For this project, I usually don't cut the yarn. I just keep it attached to the balls because I'm only knitting, I think I'm knitting about 10 rows for the squares here. And so it's only tangled for like a few minutes. It's not a big deal. One of my mantras that I teach in my Intarsia class is like, embrace the tangle. I mean, I literally just taught this class in Madrid and we went through a 30-second moment where I said to the class, let's repeat together, embrace the tangle. And it really helped them, you know, get settled in and accepting of the tangle that's going to happen. And it's not that big of a deal. Look, it's just like this. It's really not that big of a deal. And I just knit back and forth and then I'll cut it, wrap all the yarn back up, and then I'll start the next row of squares. So this one's obviously more subdued looking than this one.
Yeah, but this one is on neons.
This one was really fun to work on. If
Fun.
you saw me in Rhinebeck last fall, I was working on this.
True.
Remember when we were waiting in line for food?
You were standing up and knitting this super, I mean, it's not complicated, but it does look complicated. And we were standing in line for food and people were just pointing at you like, what is she doing?
What the hell is going on? But this makes my brain happy. I literally can't knit stockinette anymore without doing some kind of intarsia into it to make it interesting. So from my love of just knitting these like kind of squares and these intarsia shapes, I developed a class that I've been doing and taking out on tour in the last 6 months. And it's been really fun to get people excited about intarsia because honestly, it is the easiest color work project. I think color work technique, I think it's easier than doing Fair Isle.
Yeah.
Especially for me who I have tension problems because I'm a thrower, so I'm English style. And when I do color work, I hold my yarn in the left hand and I cannot tension for the life of me.
I know.
the same between my hands. And so color work is harder for me than this. And so I've kind of demystified Intarsia for everyone in a class. And we do feature some of the techniques that are here.
It just looks so effective.
Yes.
It looks so impressive.
And it's
that,
really
that
fun.
you think it must be super complicated.
Look at the wrong side. It is just as pretty as the right side. And I've developed some weaving in the ends techniques that make it so that the ends just completely disappear. So the back side of your Intarsia is as beautiful as the right side. So this is a pattern that's going to be coming out soon. We're working on having it charted right now. I am re-knitting it again so that I can propose it in confetti. I think the confetti one will be great. You just get one of each of the confetti colors and you can just make your own little patchwork blanket.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you are you planning all your rows, or do you like design on the go?
Okay, so this one I designed on the go, but I did set up a little bit of methodology for the order of the colors. And all I'm doing is just shifting one color to the end each time I start a new row. So it'll be explained in the pattern as you get through, but then there's gonna come a time where I'm gonna get to the middle, and I remember when it happened here. And I started paying more attention to the edge.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I really wanted to have different colors on the edge here, and that kind of dictated how things started. And then obviously over here, I just kind of picked colors, so I made sure that I wasn't putting like two yellows exactly together, and I wanted to make sure that we can see each of the colors. So it is very flexible in the way that you can place the colors. I will write into the pattern exactly how I place the colors, so if you want to make an exact version of this one. I haven't woven all the ends in. I think we're going to do some tutorials where I'm going to show weaving in the ends, but this is like slightly bigger than the bandana, and it's really nice. It's like perfect kerchief size here in the back.
Yeah. It just covers exactly the area that you need.
Yeah, and the upper back is what I like to cover. You can also turn it around and wear it like a bandana.
Cute.
So cute, right?
So cute.
Very fun. This would be a great stash busting project. I mean, honestly, just keep all those little DK bits that you have, because each of these squares doesn't take up very much yarn. I'll probably indicate in the pattern how many meters is one square, so that you can, if you want to do a complete patchwork version, you could.
Yeah, because you could do 50 different colors or
so many
5 different colors.
You could just do leftovers. You know how there's like those leftover crochet blankets? You can just do like a leftover.
Yeah, I love keeping my leftovers and using them again.
So that's kind of what I've been working on between the beginning of the year and now. I did finish, so last week, I was crocheting on this.
Yeah.
This is one entire skein of Corrie Worsted.
Cool.
I think I have like a teeny little nugget left over. Did I keep it? I did. I had this left over because I knew that I wouldn't be able to get all the way around. So this is like a complete, you want to hold that side? I haven't blocked it yet, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out.
Definitely.
I definitely did not keep crocheting over and over in a circle. I would crochet around and then turn it and then come back the other way.
Oh.
So you can kind of see my beginning line right here. But I'm going to wet block this and see. I think it's going to disappear. I was talking to some crocheters while I was in Spain, and they were like, oh, you won't see that once you wet block it. So I got confirmation that that was all right. So I'm going to take my gauge off of this, and then I'm just going to try to figure out, I have an idea for a vest. I don't know. We'll see how it rolls out. I'll share my details as I work through this one with you guys. I'm very excited. So stay tuned for that.
Fun.
Let's see. There's a lot of things that happened. Last week, I think we showed these swatches too.
Yes.
And now they have been wet blocked. So somebody said in the comments that they need us to hold the swatches for a little bit longer. So I wanted to hold this up and let you have a look at it. These are two different swatches. So the one that Julia is holding is slightly different than mine. And if you study the swatch, you probably can see right away. It's in the difference of the stockinette bands. And also on the edge of the swatch, I did a little bit less stitches, 1 stitch less on this one than the one that Julia did. So these swatches are going to help me figure out what texture design texture motif I want to use for this bandana, but also I wanted to feel what the prism felt like once it was black. It is
so nice.
It is completely transformed.
Yes.
Whereas last week it was very textured and you can really see the pearl and the knit stitches here. It's really flattened out and it's gotten so soft.
Incredibly soft.
This really is a beautiful yarn. This is my new version of my recycled yarn called Prism. It uses recycled fibers from Labienaimee, and it is woolen spun. So this is woolen spun with superfine merino and LBA threads. So it's very soft. I think it's like a 19.5 micron.
Yeah.
Yarn falling down.
Debbie asked if you use the same needle size.
I did use the same needle size. So the needle size that I used was, I think I have to look back in my notes, but I think I used a 4mm.
Oh, nice.
Needle. So it's nice and lofty and it feels great. This will be such a great little neck accessory.
Yeah, and it really bloomed super nicely as well. It's so soft.
And what I love about this texture stitch is like it's beautiful on the front. And then you turn it around and it's really nice on the back.
Yeah.
Slightly different, so it makes it reversible. So I'm working on this one too in the background and it'll come out soon.
That's fun.
Yeah. Ooh, definitely. What else do I have? Oh, I did a gauge swatch. Here, we can show this one. I'm working on a new sweater design. I can't really say very much about it other than I'm using one strand of Alix and one strand of Corrie Worsted. And this one is one strand of Little Kumo and one strand of Wensley Worsted. And it's for a sweater that I'm working on, hopefully to release this fall. So that's all I can tell you right now because I want to keep the surprise, but it's going to be really fun to reveal this one very soon. We're in the knitting process of the pattern. So the pattern has been kind of written. How things work here for me is I get an idea for a design. I knit lots of swatches to figure out what the gauge I want for it. And then I sit down and I write the pattern actually. And I think about all the design elements that I want to add into the pattern and go ahead and write those down. And then I sit down and then knit the prototype. Over the last couple years, I've been trying to get more methodical in the way that I translate the designs from my brain to paper because my mind doesn't really work that way. And I think I got this from my mom because my mom literally knit us things that she just made up in her mind and never worked from a pattern. And she always told me, I remember her saying to me, oh, she's like, I look at the pattern just to figure out how wide it needs to be and then I just do it my way. And I'm just like, okay, that's amazing. And I think I inherited that from her because
definitely.
I totally get this.
You're definitely someone, you look at the pattern and you're like, oh yeah, I've got this. And then you do it.
So yeah, so hopefully we'll have some new designs other than bandanas coming out this year. That's one of my goals.
So exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So exciting.
So yeah, so this is really fun because I'm using a thick yarn. So this is a DK and this is a heavy lace weight. This is Alix and this is Corrie Worsted. And I'm gonna marl these two together.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It's really nice.
It's beautiful because since you're marling two different thicknesses of yarn, it doesn't look completely even. Like sometimes one color is more prominent, sometimes the other one, and it looks really cool.
It's so cool. It's like this neon static. I love how it looks. Even with the Kumo.
Yes.
The Kumo's a little bit more subtle here. I love this. So we wanted to show two versions of this vest with a fuzzy yarn. And then there's some people who are not into the fuzz. And so that's why I'm using Alix, which is an alpaca, Surrey alpaca, and merino blend. So yeah.
Yeah, it does look like pooling.
Yeah, it does look like it's pooling a little bit. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love pooling. I like to embrace pooling.
Yeah. The backside looks nice as well.
Totally.
I also have my whip, so I brought my cherry. I haven't done much progress on it because I'm working on a sample at the moment that is a secret, and so I'm not showing it, but I'm super happy with my progress on my cherry anyway. I finished the short rows and I'm doing the Raglan, but I thought it would be interesting to discuss something because I realized I made a mistake on my sweater.
Oh,
And so I brought it to show you.
what happened?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show it here.
What are we looking at? Is this the back?
This is the beginning of the row. Look, I dropped something here.
Oh, I see it. There, you dropped a stitch?
I don't know if I dropped a stitch because it doesn't look like anything is coming out.
Yeah. She's just got this part where the stitches are really big and it looks
Yeah.
like something is missing.
I'm pretty sure I dropped something. So I brought it to show that everyone makes mistakes. And mistakes are okay.
Are you gonna frog back or are you just gonna fix it later?
So I also brought it because I told our colleague Lolita about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, bring it and we'll see if we can fix it. Because I'm someone who I think if I see a mistake, I'm going to frog back and fix it if I don't think.
I see it right here. I think this stitch right here is supposed to go all the way up. If it was me, I wouldn't frog it. I see the stitch. This is the problem right here.
Okay.
This needs to be pulled back up and it needs to go attach right here. What I would do is take a thread of the sari onyx and do a little bit of sewing in the back and just take that stitch up and then sew it down.
Especially since this is the beginning of my row and I have like a thread right. I mean,
yes,
I have something right here.
Perfect, you can use
that I can use.
Is your stitch count off?
Kind of. It's off by 1 and then I have an extra one in the next section. So I was like, maybe I did it wrong. But also, the way she does it is she has you knit this part and then bind off and then pick up your stitches so that your neckline stays really doesn't stretch too much.
I think it gives it structure.
Yes.
I think that bind off right here gives
structure.
it structure for the part of the sweater that's going to hang here.
And when I was picking up my stitches, I did it kind of, I'm a bit of a, like, you know, loosey-goosey, like Ying says, you know, like if I'm a couple stitches off, it's not going to be a big deal. Like, it's just a raglan. Either I can do an extra increase or an extra decrease, or just if I have an extra stitch here, that's not going to matter at all. I'm pretty, you know, I'm pretty cool with that stuff, but that I don't like. So
we're gonna fix that today at lunch.
Yeah, we'll fix it over lunch. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this to show everyone makes mistakes in their knitting. It's okay. Sometimes you frog, sometimes you fix, sometimes you leave it as is.
Yeah. I made a mistake. Remember in my other Intarsia bandana I was working on, the pink one? I still haven't fixed it. I think you filmed me dropping down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I am pretty confident that I can pick that stitch back up, but then if I can't, I'm just gonna have to frog 2 repeats and go and start again. So
you know, frogging is fine. I just wanted to see if it was fixable or not, or anyway, because I couldn't see. But the cool thing about the mohair though is like even if you drop a stitch, it's not really going anywhere.
No, I saw it right away. I caught it right away. I saw it. I was like, it's right there. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So.
So anyway, but still in love with that onyx and sari. But this is on hold for the moment because I am monogamously knitting on the sample I'm working on.
Yes. And the sample you're knitting is for the pop-up, right?
For the pop-up.
Yes.
It's in a secret color that we can't show.
We can't show yet, but we will soon. Maybe even as early as next week. We'll see how far you are.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So if you tuned in last week, we revealed our guests that are coming to our pop-up. And I feel like we need to make a little video just about the guests. I think this is something I just decided right now that we're going to work on. We have all these images and beautiful photos from all of the artists that are going to be joining us. I think we're going to make some kind of little photo montage thing.
Sure.
I started working on a photo montage of my trip to Madrid, which I'm hopefully going to have uploaded by this weekend. But before that, I wanted to talk about our notebooks. Okay, so I have like always been somebody who journaled and had a knitting notebook. I've always had a knitting notebook. It's been the way that I kind of can keep in my brain all the things that are going on. I took my journaling and notebook love to the next level after my trip to Japan last year, when I went with my best friend Stephanie, who loves stationery and pens. And when we went to Japan, we visited a shop called the Traveler's Company. And if you like to journal or know anything about Japanese stationery, you know the Traveler's Company makes these kind of system of notebooks that are modular. There's like a little elastic band, and they come in really cute designs. So this is a really cute design that my best friend Stephanie gave me. It's a diner edition, so it's got like a cute little charm, and it has a really beautiful collaborative stamp on the front of it, and it's made out of really nice leather. But what's great is the inside of this notebook is completely modular, so you can make it any way that you want. So it's hard to show everything, but I just have like my folders in here, and then I have my knitting notebook that I've decorated with stickers that I've collected through my travels since last fall. And in here, I've just like started adding all of my little designs. I got a little photo printer. Here's when I was working on my marled striped bandana that just released. And I did it in Mayak, and I just love, like, look at this. This is just like so fun. Like I have all the labels in here of all the yarn that I kept. And it's just a really beautiful piece that I love to go back and look at. I love pens, so this like feeds my need for new pens every time I go into a stationery store. And then I just wanted to show you my latest page here where I'm working on patchwork. So this is my page that I'm working on my design for the patchwork bandana. When I had the idea of making patchwork, I actually sketched it out first. So I sketched out my idea here just to kind of get an idea. I knew exactly what the gauge was for each of these squares. So this is kind of to scale, but like on small scale, kind of like in a map. And I started working on it here. And then other places I've been working on some other designs where I've been taking notes as I knit. Sometimes I do get like inspired just to cast on and go. And so when I do that, I try to take notes of everything. And then like I went to a stationery shop right here and got the stamp from the shop, and it was really fun to just, this notebook goes with me everywhere. So it's kind of half like knitting notebook, but also half journal. I keep all my notes in here. I also have my trusty black wing pencil. I have my stickers because you know what? Journaling is so much more fun with stickers. I also have this like little pocket here where I keep my lento pattern because that's a pattern that I've been working on. I also have some grid paper if I feel like making an intarsia design for a little bandana. So I've got that there so I can sketch it out. This is to scale for my bandana. And then I have like little notions that I take with me on the go. I've got needles and darning needles, scissors, or ruler. I've got, you know, crochet hook and all that kind of stuff. And it all fits inside this little notebook. So this travels around with me. And Julia recently adopted notebook for knitting.
Yeah, because I started when we went to Barcelona last year. We set aside a little bit of time to just spend some time in Barcelona. And so on our last day, you wanted to go to the stationery shop, and I was like, I like shopping, I'll go with you. And we went to this beautiful shop in Barcelona called K&S Papeleria. They just had the coolest stuff, and I like all cat themed, and you know, like they had some great stuff. And so because you knew so much about it, you could tell me, oh yeah, Midori has a great paper, and this is what I use. And then I looked around, and you know, so I got a couple of notebooks. I got a super cute pencil case.
So cute.
That has, you know, embroidered cats on it. And then I got some really great pens and stuff. My sister Emily went to London
That's so cute.
a couple months ago. And so she saw that Midori also makes these notebooks, and they are called something different. Casual Life Log notebook. And so she got me this cat one, of course. And the inside has all like beautiful cat illustrations, but they have different ones. Emily has like a forest one.
Oh, I
and
saw that one.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. This one is so cute. All the
this
little
one is
pages
super cute.
has a new design, a little
Yeah.
drawing on it. It's adorable.
So I knew that this notebook needed to be something special, like not my journal and not my I don't know, schedule
brain
or
dump
brain dump
notebook,
or
yeah.
So I decided to make this my knitting diary. I started it in December, so this is my first page. I just called it Julia's knitting diary. I put lots of cat stickers on it. And I I called it, so it talks about knitting, crochet, and spinning. And inside I talk about my projects, my ideas, and my goals. Yeah. So
Super great.
that's it. And then inside I had made a list for Emilia, and I did like a recap, a 2024 recap episode. And so I wrote all my notes on this beautiful Rifle Paper Company paper. So I just stuck those in there.
That's so cute.
I have this to-do list notepad from Rifle Paper Co.
Did you guys see the paperclip?
Well, the paperclip is a little cat, obviously.
Cat.
From Midori as well.
We're a little cat crazy. Julia has a cat, and his name is
Basil.
And I have a cat that recently came into my life, and her name's Phoebe. And we just like nerd out about our cats.
Of course. I mean, I think like a lot of knitters, we are cat people, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, cats and knitting go hand in hand.
Yeah, they really do.
So I also have a list for my goals for 2025. And I think that's just also something that really helps me stay focused. Yeah, definitely focused on my goals. And it's very simple list, but it has, I want to knit at least one pattern by Midori Hirose. So that's started. That's my cherry. A Rhinebeck sweater.
Okay.
I want to knit, I have a couple sweater quantities that I really want to knit this year. And then I want to make a project in my handspan, maybe a traveler shawl. And then I also want to make a vest. So I wrote either by Rosa Pomar or by Tin Can Knits. I'm not sure. Or by someone else, we'll see. And then I do lists like per month, like in January. Here is what I finished, my plum top cowl, my Oslo hat.
I love that you made a monthly dashboard for all the things that are happening. I do that too. I do like a little monthly spread. So I have another journal. I'll show you this one in a minute, but where I go back and I do like a little recap of like, here's what's happened over the month.
Exactly. For me, it really helps. So I'm not gonna show you this, but, and then on this side, I'm putting like what sample knitting I'm working on. And then on this side, who is that? It's our photo from last time.
Oh my gosh.
I printed it on my mini photo printer.
I need to do that too.
Sorry.
Okay, this has to go into my notebook too.
Because I really like this photo that we took from the first live we did together 3 weeks ago.
It says we can see it anyway. Whoops.
No, I think it said we can't. Oh, can't. So, okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I got a little scared there.
So for February, I wrote down my goals is to finish the Boxy Raglan Cardi. Check. Cast on the cherry sweater by Midori Rose in Onyx Sari. Check. And knit myself a little pair of mitts out of the leftovers from my Oslo hat. And that's not happened yet.
But
so anyway.
Oh, she has a dream knitting section.
I made a dream knitting section because I have these ideas and plans. And I think dream knitting is my favorite thing.
I love this. I'm going to do a little dream knitting thing in my notebook now.
Because I know, like, I am so envious of your punky power. That's my first thing that I want to knit. It's a sweater by Nadia Crétin-Le Chêne, knit in 3 different colors of confetti. And I have 2 different colors of Corrie confetti in my stash. I have some ochre and some gray bow. And so obviously it means my Punky Power will look like yours.
It's
But
okay.
that's okay.
That's okay.
And I think maybe I'm gonna add a Wensley Fluoro Morganite with those two.
We should wear
Really
a Punky Powers to Rhinebeck this fall.
Fun!
Because I haven't worn that one yet out, and it needs to happen.
Ah,
And I think
great idea.
So if you don't know what we're talking
Could be my
about,
Rhinebeck
Punky
sweater.
Power, go look on our Instagram. We posted last week, right?
We posted it last weekend.
Cute.
Voila. And then my other ideas, I have a sweater quantity I really want to use. It's not LBA.
That's okay.
I want to knit Xiao Mai with it.
I want to see
But
that.
no chunky stitch because it's neon yellow. But
Okay.
I love the shape of this jacket.
Yes.
So that's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Anyway, that's my knitting notebook.
What a beautiful notebook. I love it.
It's fun, huh?
I love it.
It's so fun to have a place because I feel like I dream about my knitting, and sometimes I wake up and I have these ideas like, oh, I should do this.
You know, it's really good to
pattern.
wake up in the morning and journal right away. If you can write down, like, because it's hard to remember your dreams, and there's something about waking up and like regulating your cortisol spike and things like that. So if you wake up by doing something like journaling or reading instead of like picking up your phone, that's like the worst thing you can do. So I've been known to do this too, is to go down and take out my journal. Sometimes I'll even just doodle. You know, I've been doodling recently. Let me see, where's my notebook? I think it's in here. I don't know why, but oh, it's not in here. I took it out. I'll show it in the next episode. I've been sketching. So I don't have any training drawing, but I just want to practice this. And it's actually been really nice, relaxing evening thing to do before going to bed, and not like doom scrolling on Instagram. I've been trying to sketch one thing from my day.
Ooh,
So like
good idea.
I recently went to a really cute cafe in Paris, and I love the facade. So I took a picture of it. I looked at the photo, and then I put the phone away, and I sat there and I sketched it out from my memory. And then I looked at the photo again. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty great. You know, and I did it for 30 minutes before going to bed, and I slept so well after doing that. So trying to not be on my phone before going to bed, and not being on my phone first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. If you do, please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think, because I feel like, I don't know, I'm 47 now. I have to like change my ways.
Yeah.
And I need a lot more sleep. And it's been nice to get back to journaling, writing down my thoughts, taking some time, doing some analog exercises and analog activities.
True. Yeah.
Actually has been really nice.
Yeah.
I feel oversaturated.
Yeah, definitely. I am guilty of doom scrolling in the evening. I've recently completely stopped my rule of no looking at my phone after 9:30.
Oh.
And guess what? I can't get up in the morning again.
Yeah.
Because I stay on my phone until too late. Not enough knitting time. And yeah, in the morning my alarm goes. I don't get up. And then I just, fall out of bed and have to run.
Well, maybe
to the
we can
shower
try
and
to
stuff.
keep each other accountable and say like 9:30 we get off of our phones, because I want to be asleep by 10:30. Spend that last hour doing these analog activities, and we can check in the next day and say like, what did you work on?
I was just scrolling. Yeah.
So we see some comments coming up, but we can't, they actually show up for like a second and then they like fade away.
Yeah.
And I can't read them fast enough. So we will come back and read the comments and
I
respond.
think I definitely need glasses because I can't read them on the screen. I'm like,
I recently just got glasses. I highly recommend.
yeah, I need glasses.
It's really nice to be
definitely.
able to see. So,
Yeah, that was our notebooks. Oh, you brought another
I have another one, but we'll talk about this one in another one. This is my weekly notebook that I use for other things.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that one a
It's
little
very
later.
cute. Yeah, because I also have a nice weekly one as well. So,
Okay,
yeah.
so we'll do
For
our
next time.
weeklies on the next one.
Yeah. Can we do a little recap of Love Yarn Madrid? Because I
Yes.
lived it vicariously.
I'm gonna bring all this stuff over. So I have all this beautiful stuff in front of me. You can see a little bit right there. And I also bought books too.
Ooh.
So this trip to Madrid for Love Yarn Madrid was really fun because I got to bring my daughter with me. And it changed the whole dynamic of the weekend. Usually when I go away for events, I usually travel by myself. I'll go to the event, work either doing meet and greets or working the booth or teaching classes. So that's what I was doing at Love Yarn Madrid, was teaching 2 classes. I usually come back to the hotel and I'm just usually by myself. And that actually is fine with me because I do a lot of work. I get a lot of creative work done. My daughter asked me, she's like, Mom, what would you do if I wasn't here? And when I told her, I was like, maybe I would go out to a cafe and knit, but usually I stay in the hotel and just work on stuff. And I'll go out and walk around. And she just looked at me, she goes, that's so boring. Let's go out. And man, did we do a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
We did so much stuff. So we kind of made a rule that we wanted to do 1 cultural thing a day. And sorry, our coffee machine is deciding.
It's very annoying.
It's cleaning itself right now.
It turns on and off whenever it wants.
So we're just going to let it finish. And I'll come back. So we decided to do 1 cultural thing a day. And I asked Alix to make itineraries for me for the first and the last days. And so she rocked it. She is a professional at using ChatGPT for itineraries.
Whoa.
And it's actually...
I would never have thought of doing that.
I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. Sometimes they get the addresses a little wrong, so you do have to double check the addresses. But one day I went in and I asked Chad, I call him Chad. I asked Chad, I said, hey Chad, I want to go to this paper shop. I want to have lunch here. I want to do this museum visit. Please map out this itinerary for me starting at 10 a.m. and finishing by 3 p.m. And I said, list all the public transportation and the walking time. You guys, game changer.
Whoa.
Literally. And then you have to go in. So we did make the mistake of saying, like, we wanted to go to the Adidas store, but it just took us to a random shop that sold Adidas stuff. So you have to go in and check the addresses to make sure that it's actually the address that you want to go to. But I mean, I have to say I was really impressed. It saved us a lot of time, especially mapping out everything. It had all the links in there, so you can copy paste that into a document, and then you have the Google links and everything. And I was like, this is super great. So outside of the event, my daughter was able to schedule, like on Sunday I had to teach. So she asked ChatGPT, she asked Chad, my mom finishes at 12:45. What can we do between this time and going to the airport? And it scheduled in our museum visit. We visited Plaza Mayor. We had time to walk around, have lunch at Honest Greens. It was just perfect. So, anyways, that's enough. I'm not waxing poetic for ChatGPT. I haven't used it for anything else, but I think I will only use it for this because it's so helpful.
Can it knit for me?
Not yet. Not yet.
And good thing too. Like let's keep some of the creative fun stuff for ourselves.
For sure. So I was at Love Yarn Madrid and I taught 2 classes. I taught my tips and tricks class, which was super fun. I had this lovely group of Americans who came in on a knitting tour, and Patty Lyons was in my class.
Whoa, I would have been so nervous.
When she walked in, I was like, oh my God, Patty Lyons is in my class. And she
is such an iconic teacher.
Yes, and she is like the person who's known for tips and tricks.
Definitely.
I mean, honestly, I have done some of her tips too. Like sometimes her videos will be fed to me through the algorithm on Instagram, and I'll see that and I'll be like, of course this is Patty Lyons.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, how many times I've looked up techniques on YouTube and
it's
learned
Patty Lyons
by her. Yeah, learned from her.
So it was super great because Patty and I know each other, but we don't know each other. We'll see each other at events like Vogue Knitting Live, and we're always like, hi, hey, gotta go, I gotta run to do this, or whatever. So we actually got to talk, and she was so great in class. She was a great student. This class was great. Everyone did their homework.
Yay!
Which was almost a first, I think. I think every class I've taught, there's always been
it's definitely
a class where somebody didn't do their homework.
Yeah.
And she was really nice. It was really nice, but everyone in the class was super nice and great. And I love this class. We took a big selfie together. I will post it on social media.
Yeah, the tips and tricks class is fun.
And then it was really fun to see all these people from this class all weekend long because someone in French just said that her book is génial and very funny. So Patty told me that her book has just recently been translated into Korean.
Whoa!
And she's going to send me a copy, and I cannot wait. So it's going to be so exciting to read her book in Korean. So it'll be good for me to flex my Korean language muscles a little bit. So. But let's get to some of the fun stuff from Madrid. Yarn shopping.
Whoa.
Oh my God, look at this.
It's rare for you to buy this much yarn.
No, I usually don't. And especially like I will buy for specific projects, but this is for a specific project. I bought all from the same dyer. This is, I call her my friend. Her name's Layla, and she is the owner of
Sakuna Troca.
yeah, Sakuna Troca. This is her show color. And we have been seeing each other at Barcelona Knits since the very first year Labienaimee went to this festival. I think that first year our booths were close to each other, and so that's how we kind of started talking to each other. And I just love the way she dyes. It is really different from the way I dye yarn.
Yeah.
She has her own style. Like, I can feel her personality of her and her husband come out in the yarn. This base is really cool. Read the...
Yeah, it's a fingering weight. It's 60. Oh, the base is called Tramuntana, and it's 65% superwash merino, 20% recycled nylon, and 15% mohair. And it's a sock yarn.
It's a sock yarn.
But with mohair in it, it's crazy. It's so soft.
And it's one of my favorite colors of hers, obviously,
Yeah,
because it's
definitely.
yellow. So a treat to myself every time that I do a festival and Lila and her husband are there, I buy a skein of yarn as a souvenir. And I always buy the same weight, which is a fingering weight, because I'm going to make a big crochet blanket with it. I feel like taking all of these colors
Yes.
and crocheting them together will make an amazing blanket. And I want to remake the Babette blanket
Oh.
by Catherine Merrick.
Was that your first blanket?
That was
you
my
ever
first crochet
crocheted?
project that I ever made. I have my Babette on my couch right now, the original one I did in Koigu. And so I want to redo the Babette in these colors.
Beautiful.
Won't that be so good?
So good.
Because eventually someday, I mean, I have 2 kids and I would love for them to each have a crochet blanket from me. So that way I'll have 2 crochet blankets and they can pick and choose. So this was like a big treat to myself. And I'm super happy, cannot wait to start crocheting on this. I think this might be a summer project that I'll start working on when I'm on vacation. Oh, I got a bag. Where is it? Oh, I think it's in your office.
Oh, I'd go get it.
So, I'm sorry. It came back with a little bit of congestion, which happens when I fly. I got a bag from Kuroneko. Kuroneko, this is her logo. It's super cute.
Do
Obviously,
you know what
it's a cat.
Kuroneko means? It means black cat.
It means black cat. I mean, there's a reason why I was drawn to this
And
brand.
your Phoebe is a black cat.
Yes, and Phoebe is a black cat. But I love this fabric. So this is my second bag from her. I have, the first one is the one that closes. It's a little bit bigger. But I wanted one for knitting one skein projects like sock yarn. I like to knit socks, and so I thought that this would be the cutest little project bag.
So cute.
Look, you can like pull it like this and have your yarn in there, and I can foresee myself just knitting socks and carrying this around with me.
And it weighs nothing.
Weighs nothing.
It's super soft and like...
It's like a little basket. Look,
Yeah.
how cute is that?
So cute.
And it's lined, and her sewing is really great, and this fabric is my favorite.
Oh my gosh, the neon gingham? Come on.
Yeah, so this is her brand right here, and so this was another booth that I visited. I got a cute little stitch marker that says Party. Very cute, and these super cute little cat labels. I mean, adorable. So yeah, anything cat branded really catches my attention.
I don't know what you mean.
I also found this button stand that had these like ecological buttons. They're called Eco Bouton.
Oh.
Eco Bouton is their brand here, like this. And I'm a very classic person when it comes to buttons. So I got these like super classic kind of tortoiseshell looking buttons in 2 different colors. I have some vests that I'm going to be planning to knit this year, and I thought that these could be really great for them.
Buttons are such a good thing to buy at festivals.
Yes.
It's true that whenever you finish something, you're like, I don't have any buttons. Now I have to buy the buttons to go.
I always stop at button stands because there's always something, and these were the perfect size for a sport weight, maybe even a light DK weight cardigan. So I got that. I was also gifted a little ruler from Le Chat qui Tricote. This is, I always loved this size of ruler, actually. I actually prefer having something like this instead of a tape measure.
Yeah.
Le Chat qui Tricote was the booth where my yarn was. And so this is my stockist that's located in the south of France. The shop is run by Camille. Again, she was a person that I met at my cafe in Paris when she was living here. She has a yarn brand called Le Chat qui Tricote, and her branding is literally a cat. Le Chat qui Tricote means the knitting cat.
The knitting cat.
And so she has a super cute yarn brand. And so we go to Madrid together, and she's got her yarn, I've got my yarn, and we always knit samples using both of our yarns. And they're very compatible and go together really well.
Oh, and we just announced that you are going to her shop.
Yes.
We announced it yesterday.
Yes, there's a save the date on our Instagram, and we should put it on our website too.
Definitely. Oh, it's on. Yeah.
Okay. Julia's on top of it. And we'll send it out in our newsletter, but I'm going to be at Camille's shop the first weekend in May. So if you are in France and feel like going to the south of France, going to Aix-en-Provence.
My gosh.
Beautiful, beautiful city. Come see us there. We'll be there for 2 days of events and teaching, and just the weather's going to be great. I cannot wait to walk around and see the markets in Aix. It's so beautiful. So stay tuned for more details on that.
Camille is planning some great events.
Yes.
So it's going to be the Friday and the Saturday, 2nd and 3rd May. And tickets will be on sale soon for the ticketed events. But otherwise, you will be there on the Saturday afternoon. I think we'll do a video in French as well. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a live in video.
But
like,
it's
in French.
always exciting to... that, all our details are, finalized and stuff, and we can start announcing.
Last thing that I purchased, which was a surprise, and I'm actually quite obsessed. It's kind of taken over. So I started talking about doing the artist way, but I didn't even touch this book this weekend because I got this book. Alex and I went to see Guernica at the Reina Sofia, and in the gift shop, we always go in the gift shop and look around. They had a great book selection. I was super impressed with their English book selection, and I got this book called A Little History of Art, and it's the history of the world through art. So it starts all the way back with those cave paintings that are super famous here in France, and it's just talking about the history of the world through art that they found. And I took art history class. Honestly, I wish my art history class was taught like this.
Yeah.
And I love the way this writer writes the story. I'm obsessed. I'll lend it to you after I'm finished reading it. Alex is like,
so good.
Yeah, Alex is like, Mom, when are you done with that book? So it's a book called by Charlotte Mullins, A Little History of Art, and I will post it in the comments. But I have to say, this is going to take up my time over the next couple of weeks of reading this, and then I will dig back into the artist way. So that's all that I have to talk about Madrid.
But so inspirational. It's all about like feeding your soul with art and journaling and beautiful yarn, and great inspiration.
Thanks. Well, I think we've done the tour of everything.
For me, yes, because I'm knitting something secret that I don't have much to show.
I can't.
But I'm very happy with my FO.
Yes. We're going to film a tutorial after this.
Yes.
For the bandana. So we will definitely be posting that a little bit later.
Definitely. We've gotten some requests for how to do the cast on of the bandana. It's not difficult, but there's a couple different steps to do. So we're gonna be filming that. And then we'll see you next week. I guess.
We'll see you next week at this time, Wednesday morning about our time. We'll go live again. So thanks for joining us. If you have any questions or there's things that you want to see, leave a comment before. People were asking a lot about the suitcase back, or not our suitcase, but the closet back here. But we're definitely going to work on something. That'll be something that we will plan in advance.
Yes.
And announce.
And yes, I think it would be awesome to do like a walkthrough and pulling things out and stuff. But I think we also should do like select one, maybe of a recent one, and then sometimes of a non-recent one, and just do a reel or something on Instagram.
I actually have an idea that I think that we can do when I get back from Kansas City. I'm going to be flying to Kansas City March 1st through the 18th, and I'm going to be taking a trunk show with me. would you like to see what a trunk show looks like that I take with me when I travel? It could be fun to unpack that trunk show together. We could set the suitcase up here and show the samples that we took with us on this trip. And this trip is really interesting because I'm going to be going to 2 different shops, and these 2 shops carry different yarns, different personalities. So it's really nice to see the difference between what one trunk show can look like for one shop and another one for another.
Yeah, and one is a retreat and the other one is an event at the shop. Yeah, definitely.
So I had that idea last night when I was like laying in bed going like, we could unpack a trunk show for you two, you know. So
definitely.
We will schedule that and that'll happen end of March when I get back.
There's gonna be a few weeks where you're gonna be away, so I don't think we're gonna be, well, I mean, I know we're not gonna be able to do these lives.
At least us together, but Julia does her channel, so the Knitting Twinnings, you can tune in to get some Julia news. And maybe I will do a live in the hotel, because I will be in Kansas City for a while by myself. Yeah. So I could set myself up and
if you have some knitting time.
And go live by myself without Julia. But I don't know if we can like time it that we're both together at the same time.
We can do Instagram lives where we each log to say like one is on top and the other one is at the bottom and stuff. Where but the thing is, it's if you're free, like the time difference is gonna be the issue.
The time difference is the biggest issue.
7 hours difference. So might not be very practical.
But we'll still have 2 more lives before I go.
Yes, definitely.
To the United States. Yeah. So we'll get some more episodes in and let you know how we're working on things. Maybe even give you a sneak peek of the trunk show because it'll be packed during that time. So yeah. Anyways, leave us comments. We love to hear from you. And if you have questions, the comments is a great place to put those there and Julie and I will respond. And that's it. We're going to go now.
Yeah.
So have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
See you soon.
How do we stop this? Every time. There we go.